5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. I hear voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me.
Hey, para peers and fears, we're your outcast truthcast, doing it right on a Friday night.
Welcome to yet another Talk Supernatural episode. We're Scott and Heidi Linden, supernatural investigators, sharing with you the view from walking that thin line between the natural and supernatural.
You know, before we get started tonight, we do want to apologize for last week's broadcast. We had some audio issues, and can't always tell them audio issues until it's all said and done. And according to the computer, it was working.
Yep, so we're very, very sorry about last week. We were discussing Paranormal Entertainment's reality and effects, and we had on our very special guest, Justin and Eric from Paratruth Radio. Something went wrong. We didn't have a connection set up correctly, despite our equipment saying it was. So it was a really, really good show, but you could barely hear them. So we pulled it, and we're trying to fix it. So if we can't fix it, we're going to do a redo. Plus, we're having them on again in October for our Halloween series. So you'll definitely be hearing more of them. But like you said, that's what happens when...
Deaf. I get it. You wrote deaf.
Deaf.
So you'll deaf be hearing more...
Of them. Get
we
it?
didn't hear them at all.
No,
it was deafness.
No, we did hear them a little bit.
We heard them just fine.
No, I mean, you could hear them
But
on the
deaf
air a little
hearing,
bit.
how you threw them words in
Yeah.
and we couldn't hear them.
I didn't notice. But
okay.
that's good, though. That was a good catch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what happens
I'm
when you
here for.
broadcast live. Sorry, guys.
Yep, live.
So to all of you guys that were like, what's going on? I apologize, and I'm stupid, and you're smart. I was wrong, and you were right. You're the best, and I'm the worst. You're very good looking, and I'm not attractive.
Notice that was all your part, not mine.
Right.
Whoa. Speak for yourself, dear.
Yeah, okay.
Let us not get crazy.
Too
here.
crazy.
No.
All right, so enough of the apologies. We'll get that up and running or a new one, so.
But we were on, so we were doing our thing.
You could hear us.
It's just very one-sided conversation.
You can hear them if you listen real carefully.
Turn your mic up real loud, then put your earmuffs on when we're on.
Yeah, that might
Or
work.
not your mic, but your
Something.
speakers, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Anyways.
tonight we're going to be talking about psychic abilities. Is it a phenomena or is it phony?
You know, if our listeners would have had really good psychic abilities, they should have been able to just tune into last week's broadcast with it without sound.
Well, maybe some aren't psychic, though.
Oh.
So this will be for the ones
Robin
that...
was a psychic. Batman and Robin, wasn't he a psychic?
No, not sidekick.
Oh.
No. But
I thought that's what you meant.
that's what Corey calls it. That's what our son calls it, a sidekick.
Yeah, sidekick.
Yeah, that's a fun word.
Yes.
So, but psychic is a label given to those capable of extraordinary mental process and sensitive to supernatural influences or forces. But I'm wondering if it's a mental thing or if it's a spiritual thing.
Maybe a little bit of both. A lot of things work, best with something else. Like, let's say, money without labor. We wouldn't have any value what we, don't earn.
That's true. We wouldn't value it at all.
We wouldn't value it, so...
Well, you
I don't
can't
value
have wisdom without experience, because true wisdom is the product of life experiences. Right?
Yes. Yes, success without sacrifice. Success doesn't find us. We have to make it.
So maybe mind and spirit have to work together. What about beginnings without endings? A great new beginning rises from another beginning's end. So I guess the mind has to work with the soul when it comes to spiritual things. So like in worldly terms, you could call them those with extra sensory abilities, ESP.
Yes, I have ESP. I actually have one a little better. I have ESPN.
Really?
1 and 2.
Well, so you talk about sports.
No.
That's ESP.
Extra sensory abilities. Now. ESPN.
Now. Okay, what am I thinking right now?
You're thinking we really need to keep moving along.
Okay, yes.
See? I'm good.
Okay, you are good. So, in spiritual terminology, we could just call them psychics, because the word psychic comes from the Greek word psychikos or something like that, because, I'm not Greek, so I wouldn't know. But it means of the soul, spirit, or mind. But the title was first recorded in 1895, which means characterized by psychic gifts.
They're also known as seers or mediums, clairvoyants, fortune tellers, sensitives. That's me. I'm very sensitive. Spiritual counselors. And they go back as far as recorded history.
Yep. And
Nostradamus.
not Astro.
Astro. Well, that's his brother.
Yeah. Astrodamus.
Yeah.
Is
He
Nostradamus'
came before
brother.
Nostro.
Nostro. Well, through history, they've been scorned and esteemed. And they even play a prominent role in history, from biblical accounts to royalty planned marriages. Even they've been brought on by the Council of a Seer when you have wars and battles and stuff. They would talk to their seers if they were going to win or who they should take on.
Yeah.
So that's in a lot of different cultures.
Well, even when it came to the time that they were going to kill Jesus, and
I don't know. The seers, the prophets.
the
guy.
just got drawing a big blank here.
Oh, well, you're not so psychic then.
Remember the guy's wife or whatever knew not to...
Pilate.
Pilot's
wife.
Pilot.
Well, she wasn't
wife.
a psychic. She had a dream.
She had a dream, but still, there's a level to that.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Was it a dream, or I think it was a little bit more than that. She had a feeling right from the start. Visions, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like a visionary.
And she was panicking, she knew.
She's like, don't do nothing to this guy.
But he did anyways. Yep, and look what happened.
Oh, he washed his hands.
Ow, but he could have really stopped it.
He washed his hands. He had dirty hands.
You can't say that. You can't send someone out to the wolves and say, oh, sorry, I didn't really bring the leash over to the wolves. You can't do that. So I never bought that whole I wash my hands. I think he should have said, no, too bad. This is God.
Well, he didn't think so.
No. Yeah, well, good thing, though, because now we're all saved, so. Well, not all of us, but we can be because of it. So it worked out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
3 categories are psychics, phonies, and prophets. That's how I like to label everything.
the 3 Ps.
Yeah, the 3 Ps. All are born with capabilities to know things spiritually. So we're born with the capabilities, but we don't all have the ability. Now you've got the spiritual gen. That's what I call it, the spiritual gen. Those are the psychics, okay? So they have it strong from birth, and they can't escape from the strength of the abilities that they're born with. That's because seeing practices are in their ancestry or handed down to them. And that's where you get people who have hauntings or they struggle mentally or emotionally with dark things. I guess mental illness, you could call it. I don't even like to say mental illness because I don't believe it's a physical illness, but that falls under that category. Then you've got what I call the mishits, which are the phonies. And they have it, but are so far off on what the powers are or where the powers come from. So they use tools or they use it for personal gain and power, and it often comes with dark sources.
Yes.
And then there's the prophets, which are God's appointed them for his service, all good, no bad. And sometimes you can start off with one and fall into another, too. You could be all of these categories.
Yes, I've been all of them.
Really?
Yes.
So you've done psychic readings for money?
Many. Not anymore.
No.
No.
Really? Who did you read for?
Oh, some people in Canada. You wouldn't know them.
In Canada?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you accurate? Where was I when you were doing these readings?
Right before I met you, the day before.
Really?
Yeah.
If anybody's listening and they don't know you, they probably believe you. But all those people in Canada, where you're well known for your psychic
That's right.
abilities.
See, watch, yeah, hey.
Oh.
See, you think I just got that from where?
I don't
The
know.
only way you get that is having that clairvoyance and being able to hear those things and know these things and people communicating with me and communicating back to them, and we always, yeah, hey.
Yeah, hey.
Yeah, hey.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, there is another one that's not in the categories of the psychics, but I call them the blockers. And those are, like the skeptics. They're the ones that, like I said, we all have it, but not everybody uses it. And they deny it. They fill their life with strong emotion like anger or material things, and then get busy angry. And they block out spiritual connections.
He was cross.
In the 1500s, there came a man named Michel de Nostradame.
Really? I know him.
Yeah. Do you?
I met him.
It's Nostradamus.
I know.
You didn't meet him.
I met him.
When did you meet him?
There.
You were where?
There.
In Canada. Was Nostradamus in Canada?
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah. No, you didn't meet Nostradamus. He
Could've.
prophesied future events, political happenings, assassinations, wars, disasters. He wrote what he saw, which was called, a lot of people know they're called quatrains, but he wrote them in scripted ways. Now, some people believe he wrote scripted because he had to hide his prophecies because of the Catholicism and everything, and it was looked down upon.
Yeah.
Some people thought a lot of his were
Wasn't he
messed up.
kind of, I thought he was kind of like, he kind of hid too.
Yeah, for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was hiding. And
but a lot of people, there's theories, there's so many theories about this guy's life, and no one even knows. But they have to go according to his writings.
Because I saw it. I saw it.
You saw nothing. You weren't
Yeah, I
there.
saw when Spock had it on.
Spock had Nostradamus on?
Yeah, he
On
didn't
Star
have
Trek?
Nostradamus on, but he had the show. Remember the show we talked about? I think it was last week, or people couldn't hear it. But
In Search of.
In Search of, he talked about Nostradamus.
Leonard Nimoy was hosting In Search of back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had
Well,
Nostradamus.
you said Spock. I'm thinking Nostradamus was on Star Trek.
Spock. It's always Spock.
Yeah.
Live
Spock's
long
cool.
and prosper. What is with you? Are
Interesting.
you all right? The whole thing's fascinating.
Well, some people think that Nostradamus wrote quatrains because he was mad. So, like nuts. But, there's really no proof. But if you go from some of his writings, which are sort of interesting, we'll get into that a little bit. But people try to link their predictions to current events now. But he has skeptics because they're claiming misinterpretation or translation faults. So we really don't know.
I don't want to take anything away from the guy. There's some accuracy to what he had to say, but there's going to always be a misinterpretation a lot of times until the event itself happens. It's even in biblical means as we read through the Bible.
Well, everything he prophesied pretty much, time-wise would have happened, but people are, looking into it so much. This means Hitler and stuff, and there are so many different translations, so you don't really know if it really what he meant. That's why I don't even lean on anything to do with Nostradamus.
Well, I'm not going to lean on it either, but I do believe he had some things he knew
lean
about.
on it because he's from Canada.
He's not from Canada.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, hey.
No way.
You know anything about Nostradamus?
Yeah.
Where's he from?
Over there, on the other side of the water.
Do you know he was Jewish? But then he converted to Catholicism.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know he was Jewish. I think that's interesting.
Do you know Christopher Columbus was Jewish?
Was he?
A lot of people don't know
Chris?
that.
Chrissy?
The founder of this country. Well, actually, he didn't. He founded South America or whatever.
Yeah.
He didn't even find that. But he opened it up,
Wow.
for people to come. But he was Jewish.
Huh. We should have Adam Sandler.
Because that's not his
sing
real
about
name.
him.
Christopher Columbus is not his real name.
No.
I can't even say his real name. It's something about Columbia.
Columbo.
Columbo.
Like that TV show.
So, what's he saying there? Is, one more thing. So, when you have this gift or you practice this ability, it's important to be conscious or of, where you're getting this information from. And I think that's where a lot of different clairvoyant, psychic people or whatever, they hear the voice. I believe they hear it. They get an information. I believe they're hearing it. Who are you getting it from?
Yeah, a lot of people think
it's probably not the lady that died in the house, because she's probably dead. It's probably something else fooling you, tricking you. You're not always going to be so certain, but for many of those people who hear, oh no, it's this, it's that. How do you really know?
Yeah.
They don't deny what you're hearing or what you're feeling, but be very careful, because just the adversary always uses truths and lies and mixes them together to gain your confidence, your trust, to use you and manipulate you down the road.
Yep.
That's what he does.
That's
what he did to Eve in the garden. We talked about it before.
Deceits.
the seeds.
Yeah.
Tripped. Hey, you can't eat or touch the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
And so
But
you
God
mixed
never
it
said
up.
anything about touching it. Touch it all day long. Just don't eat it.
You mixed it all up.
Mix it up.
And that's what happens.
Probably a
with-
good idea not to touch it because then you would have wanted to eat it.
I'm actually going to go into something that happened to Sylvia Brown.